God, I hope this works. Oh, that's good.
The U.S. empire can only exist in a continuous state of mass military violence. I shouldn't be able to do this for a living. Criticizing the warmongering of a single power structure shouldn't be anyone's full-time job. No government should be murdering people so consistently and reliably that people can plan their whole lives around it. Yet here we are. Not only are people like me able to focus on commentary about the mass military violence of the U.S. and its satellites as a full-time gig, but we usually find there's too much to talk about from day to day. Just today we're getting reports that at least 40 people have been killed in an IDF massacre on a tented encampment in southern Gaza near Khan Yunis, which Israel had previously designated as a humanitarian safe zone. There are videos of families digging frantically in the sand, trying to rescue loved ones who were buried by the blast, which was reportedly so forceful that bodies are being found some 30 feet down. Anti-War's Dave DeCamp has taken to typing up daily updates on the documented Israeli massacres of Palestinian civilians in Gaza, often with dozens of victims added to the official death toll in a single day. Kamala Harris has finally announced a foreign policy platform, and it contains nothing but a promise of more of the same. She promises to ensure that the United States remains the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world, to make sure that America, not China, wins the competition for the 21st century, to strengthen, not abdicate, our global leadership, to stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and to protect U.S. forces and interests from Iran and Iran-backed terrorist groups, and boasts that she has worked with our allies to ensure NATO is stronger than ever in the face of Vladimir Putin's brutal aggression. In other words, more unrelenting violence and militarism to ensure that the U.S. empire continues dominating the planet. It's not hard to see why Harris is winning endorsements from some of the worst warmongers on the planet. Bloodthirsty empire manager Victoria Nuland is now openly admitting that the U.S. sabotaged a peace deal in Ukraine in the early weeks of the war, saying in an interview that Washington pushed Kyiv to reject the deal because it included limits on the precise kinds of weapons systems that Ukraine could have if it were not agreed to. This is something people like myself used to get called Russian propagandists for saying happened, despite all the overwhelming evidence that it had. The horrors in Ukraine are happening because the U.S. centralized power alliance refused easy off-ramp after easy off-ramp. This whole war could have been easily avoided, and it could have easily been ended shortly after it began. But they kept pushing on because they wanted this war. Bernie Sanders, the official face of progressivism in mainstream U.S. politics, actually said the words, "I applaud the Cheneys," during an appearance on NBC News' Meet the Press in response to the endorsement of Kamala Harris by Dick and Liz Cheney. There is no valid excuse for those words ever to come out of anyone's face, much less from someone who people regard as the voice of reason and compassion on Capitol Hill. When your progressive hero starts singing the praises of a monster like Cheney, it's time to find different heroes. These are just a few of the things happening right now that I could have easily written entire essays on. I always run into people who act like my constantly criticizing U.S. foreign policy day after day as a full-time gig is strange and suspicious, and it absolutely is, just not for the reasons they think. They think it's strange and suspicious because I must be getting paid by some subversive foreign government, since nobody could possibly want to spend their time criticizing the Western power structure we live under otherwise. They believe this because they've been indoctrinated from birth into supporting the agendas and information interests of the U.S. centralized empire by the imperial propaganda machine which normalizes and justifies the criminality of our rulers, and trains them to view any information which conflicts with this mainstream worldview as sinister and suspicious. In reality, it's strange and suspicious that I can spend my life criticizing the depravity of the Empire because the Empire is so reliably depraved. It's a job that shouldn't exist, whose existence tells you that something freakish is happening that falls far outside of what you'd expect for a normal and healthy society. Like if I told you I work as a vampire hunter or something. The very fact that someone can become a crowd-funded writer doing commentary on the mass military violence of one particular power structure tells you that something has gone very wrong with this world. But there are plenty of others like me, and for every person there is making a living from opposing U.S. warmongering, there are thousands making a living from facilitating it. In the military, in the arms industry, in think tanks, in the media, in politics, in government agencies. There is much, much more money to be made from war than from peace. That's one of the main reasons the capitalist empire we live under exists in a constant state of mass military violence. Endless violence and the threat thereof is the glue which holds the empire together. In a healthy world, none of these jobs would exist. People working for peace or people working for war. Peace would just be the natural order of things. But until that healthy world has emerged, we fight on, day after day after day after day, for however long the work is necessary.
September, love was changing the mind. They're out in the open now. They're not even trying to conceal it anymore. The owners of the country they got their election. They said, we're going to get this election. We put you people in that court for a reason.
All right,
Now's
back
the time
to
to pay
earth
us.
for you now.
Yeah, forget all that stupid. Will you? They're out in the open. They're openly driving the bus, and we're all in the back.
There is no national conspiracy to buy elections and control America. Now
Talk about back to earth.
that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem that we have, is that people make these kind of irrational statements.
Unfortunately,
I don't challenge the facts that you present, that those backgrounds are there. What I challenge is the idea that there's some kind of conspiracy about
now
this.
I get to talk.
What we haven't had, let me just make this quick point. What we haven't had, not as a result of a conspiracy, but because...
You don't need a formal conspiracy.
Right.
When interests converge, these people went to the same universities and fraternities. They're on the same boards of directors. They're in the same country clubs. They have like interests. They don't need to call a meeting. They know what's good for them, and they're getting it. And there used to be 7 oil companies. There are now 3. It will soon be 2. The things that matter in this country have been reduced in choice. There are 2 political parties. There are a handful of insurance companies. There are about 6 or 7 information things. But if you want a bagel, there are 23 flavors, because you have the illusion. You have the illusion of choice. Right. You don't get the real important choice. There's no freedom of choice.
Jimmy on a beat, boy. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. 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 BOOMER, please, your dusty mood don't vibe with me. You are old, and so therefore I must say 10 for dinosaur day. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Okie dokie, boomer.
Okie dokie, Boomer.
Okie dokie, Chanda. Hey, what's going on? We have somebody in the house that I haven't seen or talked to in a long time. You know who that is? I think you do.
I do. Oh my gosh, I see it. And I was just wondering the other day how Pat, the Batman fan, was doing.
Pat, what's going on, man? Are you moving to Nevada with Hollywood? I heard Hollywood's moving to Nevada. Sony and Warner Brothers are looking at properties. They're ready to dump that shithole California. Maybe you can bring us up to speed, Pat. Good to see you. I want to shout out everybody in the chat, and then Shanda's going to take it over, and she's going to run the show, and I'm going to take a nap because I'm tired.
I need the nap tonight.
Kate's not here tonight, but we're going to shout out Kate anyway. She was first in. Sean Miller, Cold Fusion Gaming. I'm happy to hear that you're home. Who is that guy? And Red Angel's in the house. Steve Wolfbrandt. Wolfie, what's going on, Fingerman? Croaky, Jody Havel, always wonderful to see you. Earl of Laurel, what's going on? Sean, the Accord Lord, FYT61X Miller, Steve G, Natalie Williams, always a pleasure, Natalie, and let's see, I'm getting down here. Anthony, what's going on, Anthony? Come on, give Anthony your Anthony. I want to hear you do it. Come on. Anthony, what's going on? Good to see you, Anthony. Let me see. Jilly Love is in the house. We've got Deborah Grossbach. Good to see you. Good to see you. God, we got all these wonderful people in here. Great to see. Peace Dove is in the house. Lady Alex, always a pleasure, Lady Alex. You are so kind, unthoughtful. We've got Croaky. There's Croaky. And let me see. You got the Rockfin or the Rumble? Rick Solis is in the house. There you are, Rick. Sorry, I almost missed you, bud.
Let me check the Rumble real fast. Oh my gosh, a dingo ate me baby is hanging out on the Rumble along with Airwaves. Or Airwaves, right? It's not Arrow, it's Airwaves. And let's see who's hanging out over the Rockfin tonight. We've got Fred Edwards was first to the door. It looks like, Kate was technically first, but Fred Edwards is hanging out over there. Minex, good to see you. And Crone of Heresy, of course, one of our Patreons. Fred Edwards, I got Fred. And Willie V, welcome to Beauty and the Boomer tonight.
Hey, Willie, what's going on?
Oh, and then we've got the trailer park. Can't leave out the trailer park.
No, don't leave out the trailer park.
Let's see. Nihilo, welcome. Of course, Peace Stuff's hanging out over there. And so is Fingerman, and Earl Allure is hanging out on that one too, along with Salty's Digital Dive.
Hey, Salty.
Hey, City Girl. Chris Foster's in the house. What's up, Chris Foster? Good to see you. We get Steve Wolfbrandt. I see.
Yeah,
Steve
we got
Wolfbrandt
Wolfie. We
too.
got Wolfie. We got Wolfie.
We got Wolfie.
What about the Rumble? Anybody on the Rumble?
I already got the Rumble. Rumble was a dingo and Airwaves. They don't talk a lot over on the Rumbles.
I lost the.
The kick's not working.
Oh, okay. I lost the.
But Twitch is up.
Yeah. What did I lose? I lost the Patreons. I think I did.
I emailed out the Patreon, so they should have got notification tonight. But welcome, you guys. What a week it's been. You guys know I've had a crazy week, but it's starting to finally slow down. Cold Fusion is home from the ICU because we all took a turn the last 3 weeks in the ICU, and I'm just gonna sleep after this show. I'm gonna sleep till midday tomorrow, and then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna finish writing Trailer Park Pundit for Monday morning.
Cool. And I love your thumbnail for Monday. It's fantastic.
Well, you should. You made the reface. So.
Did I make that reface? I don't know.
Of course. I
can't
just
keep up
pillage your work to make mine.
You know that we're into the thousands on reface. You know that, right? We've made so many over the last 4 years. It's just been crazy. Yeah.
Satire.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be satire.
Can you give everybody a quick update on your condition?
I'm doing okay. If you want to do a full, get the rundown of my cancer diagnosis, it is up over at the trailer park and a couple other our platforms. I'm doing updates on Thursday, but I am going to start chemo very soon. That's where I'm at, and I haven't felt very good the last couple of days. But I'm trying to suck it up and muscle through it, and I'm in a really good spot, positive, mentally wise. I'm real positive. I've came across some really encouraging information for off-label drugs that might be able to help me, not things that my doctors are telling me to take, but things that FDA is kind of hiding from us that actually might work. So I'm optimistic that I'm going to find something that's going to help slow this down. I'm not going to buy, it seems like it's kind of standard for them to say, oh, well, you have small cell lung cancer. You're not going to be around for more than a couple of months. Every person I know who's got that diagnosis has heard the same thing. So I don't buy it. I've heard lots of stories of people that, conquered it, beat it. Mm-hmm. They're doing great. They're in remission. And that's going to be me. So I'm just
That is going to be you. That's definitely going to be you. And you got so much great support out there from everybody here and all your donors.
Oh my gosh, it's so mind-blowing. Yeah. Oz, I'm up to like 108 donations on the GoFundMe. If you want to help me out on the GoFundMe, I think the description, is it in the description below?
I think I need to drop it? You need to drop it because my head's fogging from long COVID. My brain still doesn't work. So I'm still out there.
So many have helped me, Oz. I can't even, I don't have the words to even express my gratitude for everybody who's helped carry me. I mean, it was so scary being in the hospital for a huge amount of months last month and then coming out knowing I had bills to pay and I hadn't had time to work to make money. So thank you guys so much. You've helped me. And all of the medicines that I've had to get, I've had the money to get them. So I'm so thankful that that's not an extra added stress on me. And then, of course, you guys know I'm trying to get to Mexico in a couple of months to seek some treatment down there, because we all know the broken healthcare system in the United States. So
Oh
you got some
yeah.
better choices if you leave the country.
Yeah, our friend out there, Black in the Empire, he had a stroke and he's home now and he's
I heard
recovering.
that. Oh, that's
And
send
get
him the
well
best
soon, Black in the
wishes, man.
Empire.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
really feel for you. Everybody's got their shit going on, but he has to pay for his own meds, and he's a disabled
I know,
vet.
I do
Are you
too.
fucking kidding me? What the fuck?
A vet, which blows my mind. No vet should have to pay for anything, but I'm on state of funded assistance and I'm still having to pay for cancer meds. That's crazy.
Oh my God! Well, they better keep paying for them, or they're going to be speaking to me, and they're going to have to explain themselves. Well,
Actually, my crappy insurance has covered a lot of stuff, so I'm not that upset.
Well, good. I'm glad you're getting covered. Let's kick the tires on this show and get
Let's
going.
kick
here.
it. We got a good show road.
I cut out a couple of videos because we're too heavy at the front end. I didn't want to be here at 7:30 starting the show. So we're starting the show right now. And I saw this meme over there on somebody. I had to start off with this. The Patriot Act did ram those Twin Towers on 9/11 because this week is 9/11. And they are taking our rights away.
Oh, 100%.
And that was planned.
And we knew it. We
Yep.
frickin' told you in 2003 that the Patriot Act was going to stomp all over our First Amendment rights, and it has 100%.
Yeah,
The
and
Fourth Amendment rights, so many of our rights have been squashed by it.
yeah. And one of the things about the 9/11 deal is go ahead and tell me that all the building material and stuff that was falling down vaporized on the way down and it fell at its own footprint. So to all you 9/11 truthers out there, you keep it up because the whole thing was bullshit. And we need to ultimately figure it out.
It was crazy how fast we realized it was bullshit too. I wasn't even into conspiracies or understanding anything about the way the world worked, and I still understood that we were lied to, probably by 2003 or 2004. You don't have to be politically inclined to understand that somebody attacked us that day, and it wasn't the Taliban and ISIS like they tried to.
I've got my suspicions, and I've seen a lot of suspicions.
I do too.
Yeah, so
I do too.
yeah,
I think it was a combination, maybe, of a couple of different countries. Maybe some Saudi Arabia helping out some Israel. I don't know. Just my
maybe. Now you brought this one. What are you talking about, Dick? Is this Dick?
Dick. Well, everybody's talking about Dick lately. Dick's very popular since he's back on the mainstream as a Democrat supporter. So just thought you should know that Dick Cheney's Halliburton made $39 billion from the Iraq War, and that doesn't include the subsidiaries like Kellogg, Brown and Root.
From what I understand, Halliburton was months away from bankruptcy before that war.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
They got every contract. I was with a truck driver who went and got a job with Kellogg, Brown and Root, and he went to Iraq in 2003, 2004. And everything. He said everything, the laundry services, the food services, it was all private subcontractors over there too. We had military, but our military guys were treated like total fucking shit. They lived in hot hooches with no air conditioning. Their food was shit. While these subcontractors were getting steak and fucking lobster brought in for them, and they were having it flown in little trailers. Yeah. They were having it flown in. It was absolutely disgusting to see that in real time. That was part of the reason I woke up to what the American Empire.
Oh yeah, and then all the military men and women, like the ones that got electrocuted in the showers that the subcontractors
oh my
wired.
Gosh, yeah.
You fucking
what about
kidding
the ones
me?
that got cancer from the fucking oils that they were fucking burning? They had
the burn pits.
Right?
It was
burn pits.
Anyway, this 9/11 is not an anniversary that I look forward to every year because it's still unanswered what the hell's going on, and I hope someday that we do see that. Now you found this. I did. What the hell is this? Is this somebody getting?
Well, I thought we'd do a recap of the debates that was on Monday night, because that shit was just stupid. I'm not a Trump supporter, but come on, that was heavily weighted in Kamala's favor.
It was
ABC was carrying water.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. The tools did what tools do. Anyway, does this have music?
Will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. But when you look at what she's done to our country, and when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country monthly, where it's, I believe, 21 million people, not the 15 that people say, and I think it's a lot higher than the 21. That's bigger than New York State pouring in. And just look at what they're doing to our country. They're criminals. Many of these people coming in are criminals. And that's bad for our economy, too. You know, you mentioned before, we'll talk about immigration later. Well, bad immigration is the worst thing that can happen to our economy. They have, and she has, destroyed our country with policy that's insane. Almost policy that you'd say they have to hate our.
Kudos to the reface on that, by the way. Very impressive.
That was a good one. There's another really good one out that I'll have on my deck on Monday night. I know some of you have seen it. Cracked me up this morning, but I brought you one more. There's one more.
All right, here we go.
The American people, I believe in.
Oh, Jesus, Chanda. What the hell?
Our small businesses, which is
a liar.
We have a plan. Let's talk about our plan.
Pinocchio.
And let's compare the plans. I have a plan.
Let's compare the plan.
Startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction to pursue their ambitions, their innovation, their.
Give me $50,000. Fuck your tax deduction.
$6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life.
Love the nose.
She'll never give young families $6,000. Never. That's never happening.
That $25,000 is a tax credit. Tax credits are worthless to poor people.
Exactly, because most of the time you don't even trigger them.
Yeah, you can't.
Just like that extra $200 out of our stimulus that the Democrats had to steal. They're not giving you $6,000 when they couldn't even give you $200 just a couple of years ago in the middle.
I thought it was $600 they cheesed out of us. Was that? Am I wrong?
Was it 600?
It was
close.
it was.
Right.
They gave us. They gave us 1,200, and they said they already gave us the 800. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. They screwed it. They screwed us.
Us all off.
They screwed us.
They won't give us paid maternity leave or any of that shit. But hey, we'll give you $6,000 if you vote for us. That's never happening. Just like they're going to codify Roe v. Wade.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Happened.
Yeah, I think this meme up in the corner, that's, that kind of speaks for it all. That's who's running this place, and no matter who gets in, who they install, it's going to be this. And I've heard some people say, and I hope this is true if it happens, that Trump wants to get the hell out of Ukraine. Because if Harris gets in there, we're just going to have World War III. What do you think? Do you think that's a rumor or what?
Trump's stance on anything, he at the end of the day, he's about
making
businessmen money.
I know.
And
Politicians.
There's a lot of fucking money to be made over in Ukraine. That's why we've been there as long as we had. And hey, we got plans to rebuild Ukraine. So whatever. He's definitely not going to slow down the genocide in Gaza. We know that.
Oh, yeah. You got Zionist handlers, and that's the main one standing right back there. This one, I love that reface of Linda, by the way. It's gorgeous. I promised to do everything I could have done, but didn't do, because if I did it, I wouldn't have to promise to do it, even though I could do it now, but don't, because I don't know what to do. Otherwise, I would do, or I would have done it. She talks like that. She talks like that.
I know. She totally does.
And I can't even read, what she's saying, but she talks like that. There's a video going around I had at the start. I didn't play it. Everybody saw it. That she's talking like that. And this is why I say, that debate, somebody was pervy to those questions. I don't care what they said.
Was Donna Brazile there again passing out questions?
Oh, shit. Who the hell knows? You see, she's
not even sorry she did that. Did you know that?
No, she's not.
When she got caught passing them to Hillary in 2016.
No, she was elevated financially and socially over that. Sure, she got dumped on for a while. I think she lost her job at CNN. But they compensated her for taking that one.
Oh, God. She wrote a book, too, remember?
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. We're doomed. Breaking, Rumsfeld exhumed corpse for voting for Harris. And that's basically what they're doing. They got the trifecta now with Rumsfeld.
I love the bottom.
Colin Powell to be dug up on Tuesday. with the Cheneys and Rumsfeld now, I'm not shocked at all.
You got to be out of your freaking mind if you're a Democrat. Like, I just think of my local Democratic headquarters where all those biddies come together and they drink their vino and they talk their politics. These are the same people that were trash talking Dick Cheney just a couple of days ago, probably, and now all of a sudden he's the savior of the Democratic Party. Like,
oh yeah,
I just want to shake him by the
God.
shoulders. Wake the fuck up! You're
Yeah.
now supporting a neocon party, and you're toting the frickin' Cheneys. Like,
Yeah. No,
guys have-
there was a time when this country was semi-sane. If you got endorsed by the likes of the Cheneys, that would be a bullet to your campaign. But now, oh my God, even Bernie Sanders is giving him a rim job over that one. Oh my God. Bernie's
just retire
sick.
and go home already.
Yeah,
go
get
to
the
one of your
fuck
3 lake
out.
houses. Go the
Yeah.
fuck away.
We have a twofer for Caitlin Johnstone. Shanda put this one in. I put the other one in. So let's run
Did
that. Yeah, I think so. And we'll run it, and I'm going to kick it up a notch.
Democrats don't care if you vote for them and don't care if they lose. Now that the election is closer and the Democrats have switched out Biden for Harris, I feel like I should reiterate my position that you're not actually punishing the Democrats if you refuse to vote for them in November. I often see people talking about making the Democratic Party pay a price for Gaza and for ignoring calls from progressives to end the genocide, but it doesn't actually work that way. They don't care. They don't care if you don't vote for them.
That's
they
right.
don't care if they lose.
They don't
Their
give a
political
shit.
careers will be fine either way. It's entirely okay and legitimate to not vote for
AOC.
Democrats, but don't let that act dupe you into thinking your vote matters. It doesn't matter how you vote.
It doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter how you don't vote. The U.S. power structure is set up to be completely unaffected by voters. Acting like you could teach the Democrats a lesson by refusing to vote for them only feeds into the illusion that voting matters inside a power structure that is being deemed too important to be left to the hands of the voters. There's a viral tweet from Glenn Greenwald going around that says, "The U.S. has no functional president and has not had one for months, and it's barely noticeable and barely matters
Years.
because
No
there's
shit.
a permanent unelected machine that runs the government." Greenwald is correct. Nobody with any real power cares all that much who the president is. The president doesn't even need to have a functioning brain. This whole show is being run by people who don't ultimately
Obviously.
care all that much whether Democrats or Republicans are in office, including the party leadership of the Democrats and the Republicans. You think Democrats have enjoyed playing the face of the evil empire these last few years? You think they've enjoyed having their political rallies interrupted by anti-genocide protesters and having their feel-good progressive image completely discredited in front of
enjoyed
everyone?
I have.
They'd all be having a lot more fun if the terrible things being perpetrated by the Biden administration were being done by Trump instead, so they could go back to playing the good guys. They're happy to lose, which is why they're acting like they're happy to lose. They're doing absolutely nothing to appeal to progressives or energize their base. They're not articulating any real policies besides more of the same. They're not changing anything about any of the stuff that makes normal people hate Democrats in the year 2024. And if they lose again in November, they will continue to not change anything. Americans don't live in the kind of country where votes matter. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Vote or don't vote however you want, but don't make the mistake of believing you'll be teaching the Democrats any kind of lesson that they will actually learn by doing so. If real change comes to the United States, it won't be because of how any Americans chose to vote or not vote in any of their fake elections. There are no solutions to these problems in electoral politics. Other solutions are needed.
Yeah, they sure the hell are needed.
Amen.
Amen. That one was teed up, and I had already put the one in. I saw you put it in, so I just ran them both. I mean, Caitlin Johnstone, another modern day prophet, pretty much right on all that stuff. What is this all about? I'm the director of what?
Harris. This will be the last time that Harris ever flies commercial. I promise you.
Hi, I'm the director of Hispanic Engagement with Turning Point USA. I want to know about the children that you
No, not turn it down. Take me down.
Wait, can you answer this question real quick? No, I'm taking a picture real quick. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're getting behind me. You're saying that you're fighting for women. No, I'm not going to back up. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'm asking her. She's saying that she supports
Those ladies asked her to take
I don't care. You're in my way. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. She is damaging what is happening to Hispanic women and children at the border because she's promoting family reunification with child sacrifice. You're not commenting on this issue. You are directly impacting the Hispanic demographic in a negative way. You are directly impacting what is happening with the children in this country, and you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing as representing women in this country. Shame on you. You're not going to win.
damn, man, that woman belongs in Congress. Oh, wait, that's actually Anna Paulina Luna, and she is in Congress because we live in the best timeline.
Okay, so Vinny is a Russian asset, right?
Oh,
He's
I
one
heard
of those
that.
ones that got named. Yeah, he
Yeah.
got named with Tim Fool and what is it, Dave Rubin?
Yeah. No.
But nobody else has been running that clip. That's the only place I've seen that clip. And Harris is like, God damn it, that's the last time I fly commercial.
Yeah, I don't know what she's flying commercial for anyway. Do you?
So she looks like a commoner, like one of us. Remember when we used to get so excited when Bernie Sanders would get on a flight and somebody would take a picture of him? Look, he's like us. He's just every day. He rides in coach.
Yeah, you're
What?
right. I what's Air Force 2 doing? I don't know what the hell. I don't know. If you say you hate the government but still vote R or D, you don't hate it enough. And ABC, if the ABC moderators were refs at the NFL or the NBA, they'd be under investigation by the Gaming Commission for sports rigging. And I absolutely agree with that. And they can say everything they want, but they were heavy on fact-checking Trump, and they didn't fact-check Harris at all. And so that's apparent. I told you last week, Chanda, I think that did more for Trump than hurt him. So I don't know.
The Google was down. My Google was down for the whole entire debate, so I couldn't fact check shit if I wanted to on Google. So it seems like it was intentional to me. This next slide, I kind of got us out of order. I didn't see it, so we're going to talk about that.
What number is it? 27?
22. It's the Jill Stein Breakfast Club interview.
No,
but I brought the clips. They're just further down in the deck.
No, that's fine. I'll just quote Nico here and then go from there. But by the way,
Okay.
Trump won the debate.
We'll catch up with it.
Little Brain and Kamala won the debate. Little Brain. And we're fucked Big Brain. Is that Misty? That should be a profile of Misty right there. So.
That should be Misty. I hear Misty's show got canceled tonight. Bummer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nico says, Duopoly Destroyer says, they considered the civil rights movement a Kremlin view. They considered reparations a Kremlin view. Jill, shut CTG right the fuck up. They thought they were going to invite Jill and Butch on to bombard them. Instead, they embarrassed themselves. And when you see that clip, if you haven't already, I
have some of the clips on the deck, but that Angela Ray, is that her name? Oh my God, that was so bad. Like she just came with State Department talking fucking points and attacked Jill Stein. So I do have it on the deck. It's just further down.
Anyway, we've got Patel here.
Fat Sauger, we love Fat Sauger.
Fat Sauger, do you contemn the actual act of killing an American citizen protesting the aggression of Israeli occupation army? Patel, death of any American is heartbreaking. What a weak-ass response. Here you go. Listen to this fuck.
Saeed, go ahead.
Thank you, Vidan.
Yeah.
Do you actually condemn the actual act of killing an American citizen protesting, the aggression of, let's say, the Israeli occupation army?
Saeed.
Condemn the act of the killing itself. Do you condemn that act?
Let's just be very clear. Of course, we would condemn the death. The death of any American citizen is heartbreaking. But let's be just very precise and clear that I am not going to speculate on what transpired on Friday. As those facts and those
I'm not going to speculate. We're going to let Israel investigate.
We're going to let that process play out. It is troubling. It is tragic.
Let it play out.
And it's certainly there is a responsibility here to share as much information as possible so that Miss ID's family has the most appropriate accounting of what exactly transpired and what happened here. But Saeed, there is a process, and I'm just not going to get ahead of that. And I will.
They hate Saeed.
I'm not going to speak on behalf of our partners in Israel.
John Pierce constantly.
Because it makes him look like a fool.
Of course, Saeed. The murder of any American citizen, we would take issue with.
Oh, okay. So let me pause.
But she wasn't murdered. It was an accidental ricochet that hit the ground. She wasn't being targeted, even though all the eyewitnesses say she was fucking targeted and there was nothing going on for them to even be firing upon them.
Yeah. With Harris.
But, President Biden, he said it, so it must be true.
With Harris, it sounds like we will get Cheney's foreign policy, AIPAC's Middle East policy, Goldman Sachs' economic policy, and Exxon's climate policy. And that's exactly what you're going to get with Harris. And
I
Shit.
had that over on my deck for tomorrow, but I guess I'll take it off.
Well, you can leave it
Got
up
me.
there. I mean, everybody needs to be reminded of this, I guess. Not our chat, because they're one of the smartest chats around. But I really enjoyed this. I'm just going to play this real quick for everybody because it's just too good.
When Israel's accused of committing crimes,
investigate. The IDF should swiftly investigate what happened. We urge Israel to thoroughly and transparently investigate reports of gross violations of human rights.
We support an IDF investigation.
We want to see this thoroughly and transparently investigated. Israel must thoroughly, transparently investigate credible allegations
and ensure accountability for any abuses and violations.
ensure any accountability for any abuses and violations.
No one should be shot and killed for attending a protest. No one should have to put their life at risk.
it wasn't a protest,
Just
you
for freely expressing
jackass.
their
She was
views.
protecting them from being attacked.
In our judgment, Israeli security forces need to make some fundamental changes in the way
Jesus
that they operate in the West Bank,
Maybe stop
Christ.
arming
including
them.
changes to their rules of engagement.
We've called for a complete, thorough, swift, and transparent investigation.
Apparently, it was an accident, ricocheted off the ground.
Ricochet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to run this
U.S.
whole
has
thing.
often failed to get independent. Yeah, they never do independent investigations for anything in this fucking country. It doesn't matter. They always investigate themselves, and they always find they did nothing wrong.
No, independent investigations will find them culpable and guilty of war crimes. That's just the way it is.
Well, I hope that their family and Rachel Corrie's family, they don't back off. They just keep harping on these administrations, including the next administration about this. Israel should not have carte blanche to just be going around fucking killing American citizens. What happened to Biden's? If you hurt one hair on an American's head, bullshit.
Well, yeah. Rachel Corrie and Heidi and Shireen Abu Akleh, they were all targeted. They were shot. And somebody said they put that up and they said 3, and I'm missing a count somewhere because hasn't 170 or 96 journalists been shot?
Yeah,
to date?
Well, they
So-
don't consider them Americans, right? Is that what
Whatever.
it is?
They can all fuck off. We have new refaces here, everybody. I want to point these out because I think Linda and Chanda are gorgeous. And we added that to the deck to bring out those fall colors. Now, you brought this.
I
What
look
is
so
this?
angry.
No,
This is Jerusalem. So, I had some friends that were in a delegation that went to the West Bank probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And when they came back, they were absolutely traumatized. I mean, the things I heard about the colonizers' violence on the Palestinian natives was absolutely insane. And check this video out. Now you see why they're all packing fucking heat that we paid for. They're passing these guns out to the citizens.
Yeah.
Really? You got to go to the market with your fucking assault rifle? Your baby? Obviously, you don't feel that threatened if you're willing to take your fucking baby out. But yeah, just take your gun in case you see a Palestinian.
Yeah, and they want
This
to
is
ban
insane.
the guns, the assault rifles anyway in this country. Which at one point in
They
time,
definitely are coming for your guns.
Yeah.
Harris has made it very clear, even during the debate.
I used to be, ban these guns, these assault rifles and stuff. But you know what? The way things are going these days, I honestly, not for me, of course, but I don't blame people for pushing back on that because look what they're doing in Australia. I mean, they got the boot down in Australia. That government has totally taken over that country. They get out of line. They send their killer cops in there to beat the shit out of anybody. And everybody's under suspect. But they don't have guns down in Australia. They banned them all. From what I understand,
they're going to take a fucking mile.
And
So
that's
we'll start
my
with
point,
assault
too.
Rifles, and pretty soon it'll be all ammo. And fine, we won't take their guns. We'll just take their ammo.
Yeah,
away
I
from
mean,
them. They can't shoot guns. They don't have bullets.
They'll take the ammunition, but that's not going to work in this country. And again, look at who's done these mass murders and stuff, and I sound like a conservative right winger, but you know what? I think that
It's always confused liberals now, isn't it?
I saw, and I'm not a gun fan or any of that shit, but honestly, I saw a statistic that there's already 3 billion guns in the United States, and I can't even get that wrapped around my head. 3 billion guns? Is that right? So I question that, but still.
Well, yeah, gun nuts like to go a little crazy, right? You get one, it's like a tattoo. You got to keep getting them. That's at least all the people I know that are that way. They're like, oh, check out all my guns.
I guess.
But I just make friends with those people because when the shit starts hitting the fan, I'm going and hanging out with my conservative friends and family. I can tell you that.
Oh, shit. I hope to God people get their brains back one of these days. This is all insanity.
Guns work. High Plains Drifter. Heck yeah, they work.
Jesus Christ,
Definitely a deterrent.
Well, anyway, maybe the meteorite will make it a mood issue. We've got Chanda and Pyewacket there, by the way. Chanda and Pyewacket. Pyewacket, and I thought this was pretty good. Somebody got schooled by Norm Finkelstein.
I love it when Norm burns them.
But you're not very good at it. You're a hack writer. You made a factual error.
You're certainly entitled to your opinion. I don't know of any expertise. I don't know of any expertise you have in the topic.
Understated by a large number the number of Holocaust survivors.
That's the last question.
Okay, very briefly.
I would like to answer
very
that.
briefly, please.
I don't claim at all to be an authority in the Nazi Holocaust. The book, The Holocaust History, is not about the Nazi Holocaust. It's a book about how the Holocaust has been rendered in popular opinion and in so-called scholarship. The figure I got of under 100,000 survivors of the Nazi Holocaust, it didn't come from me. It came from Raoul Hilberg. I think you'll agree if you have any knowledge of the Nazi Holocaust, which is doubtful, but if you have any knowledge of the Nazi Holocaust, you'll know that the world's leading authority in the Nazi Holocaust, bar none, was Raoul Hilberg.
That's not
he
true
was the class all his own. Raoul Hilberg praised the Holocaust industry. In fact, he said, my conclusions in the book were conservative. Now, Raoul Hilberg was begged by the U.S. Holocaust Museum and his close friend Elie Wiesel to remove his name from the book. And he said, no, I refuse to remove my name from the book because what Finkelstein wrote is true. He said Finkelstein's place in history as a historian is secure. And what was done to me was a travesty. So when you come along and say you're a hack writer, I attach as much value to that as I attach to the dust on this floor.
Yeah! Give him the big finger.
Get him, Norm.
Get him, Norm. And that's not all. And I brought Katie Halper tonight. I don't bring her very often.
Oh, it's Katie. Is she going after Dana Bash? Is she going to bash the Bash?
She's going to bash the Bash. Here we go.
But that's not true because the Israeli media itself covers it. So there's obviously a conscious choice for this media in the West to not cover that.
I think it's one of the clearest examples because this is a pattern that we've seen for all of these months. You will see, and frankly, Dana Bash and Jake Tapper are two of the worst.
Yeah.
Just outright propagandists that we have seen. And I don't watch CNN, but I've tuned in to watch some of these examples, and I've seen them justifying war crimes. I've seen them non-critically just parroting the talking points of the Israeli government and the Israeli military. I've seen them reporting false stories about atrocities alleged to have been committed by Hamas and then proven later to have been entirely fabricated. I've seen them quoting sources that have been long since discredited,
right.
Zaka and others, and the contrast between, on the one hand, the reporting by these folks of allegations of a campaign of systematic rape by Hamas on October 7th, which has not been proven in spite of several investigations. And the evidence for which that has been put forward has been repeatedly debunked as false, fabricated, and so on. And where there have been independent investigations that have found no systematic rape. I always say it's always possible that there was a rape here or there whenever there is conflict, although that has not been proven either, by the way. And then on the other hand, documented, systematic, officially sanctioned, and publicly defended perpetration of rape by Israelis against Palestinian prisoners.
Yeah, this stuff blows my mind.
October 7th, but going back decades. is
Decades.
never, ever mentioned. So
Decades.
Decades.
How do
Big
they
story
think that sodomy is
about mass and
okay?
systematic rape perpetrated by Palestinians against Israelis is not withdrawn. And by the way, it's never been withdrawn by the New York Times and others who have perpetrated this false story.
Even though it's
And on the
never
other
been
hand, actual systematic
proven.
rape, which has been defended by the official Israeli sources and defended by the public and so on,
It blows my mind.
not reported at all. And then people like Dana Bash going so far as to sum that all up by saying, yeah, Palestinians rape, Israelis don't, which is, I mean, that the goal that it takes to take it even to that level. Now, why this?
Dana Bash and Jake Tapper are two of the worst propagandist liars in Western media. They get the award for shitheads in media, liars and Zionist pricks in this country. I think CNN and
They're getting their payday.
honestly, this is not a freedom of speech issue with me. This is the commons. They're using our airways to stuff their fucking corporate paid for propaganda down our throats. And they should all lose their license for that. If they want to come in and have free speech and social media, fine. But to have the power of a multi-billion-dollar corporation behind you to lie while hundreds of thousands of people are being killed around the planet? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know how those two monsters or the rest of them sleep at night. That's my thing. Sorry.
They sleep well with 2,000 count Egyptian cotton sheets. Come on. We've seen them all do it, right? They'll take their turn, they get their money, and they cash out. And Rachel Madcow did it. We see them all do it. And they're just the next ones in line.
Yeah.
They take their talking points straight from the State Department, and, they get their little memo every day. These are your talking points. We know exactly what they are.
Yeah, MSNBS premiered their little love fest tonight, and I hope nobody watched it. And
Don't watch that crap.
Don't watch that crap. And I just want to remind you to who's been bought over the years. Yeah, all of them. All of them are bought. So, don't ever, think that they're working for the people. And this is why I say they violate.
You're going to blow a
Oh, my God. All of these assholes have violated their oath of office, and they should be in prison for all as far as I'm concerned. They should be in
every single
prison.
one of them.
Every single one of them. What slide are we on, Chanda? Are we on?
We are in 29.
29. God. Long COVID, guys. It's no fun. No fun. Here we go. Blinky with his bullshit.
Rossiya Segodnya and these 5 subsidiaries are no longer merely fire hoses of Russian government propaganda and disinformation. They are engaged in covert influence activities aimed at undermining American elections and democracies, functioning like a de facto arm of Russia's intelligence apparatus. Today, we're announcing that these Kremlin-backed media outlets are not only playing this covert influence role to undermine democracy in the United States, but also to meddle in the sovereign affairs of countries around the world.
Oh, bullshit.
Thanks to new information,
who does that? We do.
Much of which
we do
originates from RT employees. We know that RT possess cyber capabilities and engaged in covert information and influence operations and military procurement. As part of RT's expanded capabilities, the Russian government embedded within RT a unit with cyber operational capabilities and ties to Russian intelligence. RT's leadership had direct, witting knowledge of this enterprise.
Projection.
So I brought this RT clip. This was an RT clip about Blinken talking shit about RT, right? So the State Department has decided they're going to crack down on RT because Americans are just, watching it on their never mind. They're not watching it on their cable news anymore because they were taken down years ago.
How do you see it?
Yeah, unless you're like us and you actually go out and you look for the RT clips by going to their websites and shit, going to Rumble, you're not seeing RT on YouTube. You're not seeing it on your normal TV. Shut the fuck up. This is such projection.
It is.
And we do
bullshit.
all those things that he just accused Russia of doing.
1,000 times worse. Whatever he said,
Yeah.
they do it worse. The United States. So here you go. Let's hear what RT response is.
One of the reasons why so much of the world has not been as fully supportive of Ukraine as you would think they would be, given that Russia has invaded Ukraine and violated rule number 1 of the international system, is because of the broad scope and reach of RT. where propaganda, disinformation,
Nartee's
and
fault
lies
that we
are
don't
spread
want
to millions,
to give
if not
money to
billions, of
Ukraine.
people around the world.
You know, this
All
guy.
Nartee's fault.
And just forget about all the history of the Donbass, the Maidan
Yeah,
Accords.
right.
You know, the coup that we helped perpetrate on, Yanukovych.
Which Victoria Nuland admitted to this fucking week.
Yeah,
right?
I
she
mean,
basically
come the
just comes
fuck
out
on.
like, "Oh, we couldn't have let Russia, have a peace agreement." Oh, hell no.
I think we should start calling it the United States of hypocrisy and projection. So that's
down.
where.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Need a new anthem.
Nick, Revolutionary Blackout Network. I am going to punch this up, and here is Victoria Nuland lying and grinning and enjoying the hell out of it. Nick does a good summation here, so I am going to kick it up a notch. Here we
A
go.
lot of great coverage
The
on this
Ukraine
topic.
army is falling apart as Ukraine is running out of soldiers. The Ukraine army is dealing with a massive desertion problem, with 19,000 soldiers being charged with abandoning their posts since the start of this year. This is why Ukraine has been engaging in forced conscription, kidnapping Ukrainian men off the streets so they can die for NATO. It's so bad that Ukraine has lost 1/5 of their population due to migration and an entire generation of Ukrainian men. It's so bad that the Ukrainian army is now filled with old men and teenagers. And after all this carnage, we even have Western military officials that are admitting that Ukraine cannot win the war against Russia. The only problem is Russia is in a much stronger position now than they was at the beginning of this war, and now Ukraine has less leverage to negotiate with. This is why it made no sense to kill the peace deal proposed at the beginning of the war that Russia was okay with, that would have left Ukraine at a much more advantageous position than they are right now. And after years of denial, we finally have Victoria Nuland and other Western officials openly admitting that they tanked a peace deal that would have saved countless Ukrainian lives.
First told by former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett that both sides were really close to the end, to the successful end of the negotiations, and then Prime Minister Boris Johnson interfered and stopped.
Boris Johnson interfered.
Ukrainians prevented.
They went and told Zelensky, "We'll kill
signing the
you."
deal.
And he
then,
said, "Okay, I'll do what you say."
Okay,
I'll do what you say.
Confirmed that yes, he said in an interview that was some kind of advice from Boris Johnson to stop negotiating and to win this war.
Look at her smiling.
To us,
fucking
clear to Bruce, clear to others,
sociopath.
Yes, she is.
that
Big time.
Putin's main condition was buried in an annex.
Fucking
to
monster.
this document that they were working on, and it
She is a
included
monster.
limits on the precise kinds of weapon systems that Ukraine could have after the deal. And there were no similar constraints on Russia. Russia wasn't required to pull back. Russia wasn't required
what
to
the
have
That's funny
its own
because
military
the
border,
Ukrainians
wasn't
were
required
happy
to
with
have the
this
same
deal. They were
constraints on
popping
its military
champagne and
facing
thinking that
Ukraine.
they'd ended
And
the
people
war.
outside Ukraine
Yeah,
started
I
asking
heard
questions
that.
about whether
I
this
think
was a
Glenn
deal
was
that at
talking
some
about
point
that.
that it fell apart.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting how all the people who was called Putin puppets
driving me
because we wanted
crazy.
peace in Ukraine turned out to be the only people who cared about Ukrainians? Our ruling class knew exactly what they was doing. The goal of the military-industrial complex is not waging successful war. It's waging never-ending profitable war. Neocons openly brag about the fact that Ukraine was a great opportunity for them to test their weapons and test new battlefield innovations. Yes, the West used Ukraine as war guinea pigs. I really hope that Taiwan has their heads screwed on right, because if they believe the West has their best interest at heart, then they will be burnt just like Ukraine.
Yeah, Taiwan is not going to go for this shit. They're watching it happen in real time, and if they do, they need to barbecue their leadership. If they do, that's crazy.
I think the U.S. has got a strong foothold on Taiwan propaganda-wise and their
God.
leaders. So the Ukrainian people didn't want this, Oz.
No, they didn't.
Even though they're
the ones that asked.
Fucking lie.
They wanted Putin. They wanted Putin to come and help those people, those Russians in the Donbass. They wanted Putin to help them. They were being killed right and left, thousands.
Save us from the Nazis. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Lights, camera, fiction, ladies and gentlemen. That is our Western corporate media right there. It is fiction. And Chanda, you brought this one in. I doubled it up and pulled mine out. This is satire, Chanda. I did check this. There was no such headline. Local Democrats who disagrees with you wants you to be a Russian so bad, some blue MAGA users online cannot comprehend that others have different opinions. Shanda, have you run into that problem
Well,
ever?
obviously, that is satire, right?
Oh,
And the
yeah.
Democrats are so full of shit. I know a bunch of local Democrats that always put big signs out in their yard for Harris or whoever Biden. And I noticed as I drove by the other day, there was a little handwritten sign that says, "We can agree to disagree without vandalism." So somebody's been going and vandalizing their signs. I just thought, oh, yeah, we can agree to disagree. Bullshit. That's not how the Democrats roll.
No, I
You're
disagree,
just
and
a
I'm
Russian
not. I'm not gonna play that game anymore. That's that pragmatic bullshit that they always shove out there.
Yeah.
What is
yeah,
this clip
yeah.
of? Who is this the one you were talking about earlier?
This is, I can't remember what country it is. They're basically telling the U.S. to go fuck themselves. I don't
Oh,
know.
I
Play it,
love
we'll
that.
figure it out.
Blinken, go home. Go home as soon as possible. Get lost. Get lost. We don't want you here. We don't want Polish people paying and dying for your wars. Thank you very much.
That's good. I
Because of
wish
course
everybody.
they've got to shore up all that support along that Russian border.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Finland, we've talked about Poland. We've been watching this go down for years and years and years. I mean, I knew in 2016, thanks to Oliver Stone, what the fuck was really going on in Ukraine, because his documentary Ukraine on Fire fucking told us the truth of the military, push to go in there and play with their freaking toys.
Yeah, you brought this meme in the back of us, and these are only two companies that pull Victoria Nuland's strings. I mean, she's got so many strings on her. I wish some of those strings would take care of the problem.
To stand up there surrounded by all those fucking petro companies and then try to act like our foreign policy has our best interests and these other countries' best interests at heart, because it's the furthest thing. The only people's best interests that are ever covered in any aspect in this world is when it comes to money and the elites.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I had a little problem with our friend Simon this week.
I thought you didn't like Simon. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were anti-Simon.
He's, I don't know, Simon, and I like some of his stuff and some of his I don't. Justin, your reaction. ABC confirms that Kamala Harris, ABC confirms, did not receive debate questions in advance, firmly stating, absolutely not. This comes after critics who labeled her DEI hire and brain dead were stunned to see her perform confidently on stage for the first time. And I responded to Simon. I just laughed out loud and said, ABC asking the criminal if they committed the crime, expecting honesty is like investigating Israel itself for Israel investigating itself for genocide. Simon, please do better. I mean, he needs to parse that or something different.
Yeah, he likes to regurgitate media to, mainstream media talking points. I notice a lot.
For clicks and retweets.
Yeah, on the draw when it comes to sharing stuff.
Yeah, we Shanda and I, we've tried to, stay neutral and honest and stuff, unless they stab you straight in the back or the eye socket, one or the other. But sometimes it's just getting really ridiculous. Medea Benjamin did that. Pushing Adam Smith, Washington State, stepping up for an investigation on the ED assassination last week.
No way! I didn't see that.
I told Medea, "What the hell are you doing? Adam Smith is owned by the military-industrial complex. He just got the straw to get up there and call for an investigation because it looks good. So Adam Smith sucks. We know him. He's Washington State. He's a liar, a con man, and he's owned by the military-industrial complex. Don't buy it for a second. And when Code Pink puts guys like that up as an example, bullshit. And that makes me wonder about Medea sometimes.
No, I'm glad you called her out for that. Yeah, there's been quite a few times that I don't see eye to eye with Medea. That's over the years. So that's
I'm wondering, it don't smell right. You brought this, Muslim voters in swing states.
Well, so ever since AOC went out and decided to attack Jill Stein, boy, there has been a switch in the polls. So yeah, these are swing states. Wisconsin, Arizona, and Michigan are all polling the Muslim populations. Look like they're going to be voting for Stein over Harris.
So that's bad news for Harris because it's going to pull votes from her, and thus whatever Trump gets is going to be elevated, right?
Yep.
Yep. We've got The Simpsons. Is that how that goes, The Simpsons? I never really watched The Simpsons.
So this is the Jill Stein clip that I brought. There's multiple clips out there of this interview, but this is one where Jill Stein actually holds her own. She kind of got her ass kicked around a little bit, and it was a little bit sad that she couldn't just regurgitate how many are in the House and in the Senate. I mean, come on, girl. You should have had that right at the top of your head. But anyways, here you go.
The question that was raised there was, did Russian social media have an impact? And was I, a beneficiary of that? And the Senate...
But they said you repeatedly parroted Kremlin views and posted a campaign video.
Well, you know what they consider a Kremlin view? They consider reparations a Kremlin view.
Oh.
They consider the civil rights movement actually a Kremlin view. They consider racial disparities a Kremlin view. So these are Department of Defense talking points, and these are unfortunately the DNC talking points as well, which repeatedly tries to smear me as a Russian agent, even though it has been
idiot.
Yes, and this has been very specifically
let's just be blunt about that.
Found lacking. And the report, get this. The report that was initially used to supposedly show that Russians had a social media campaign supporting me, that was written by a cybersecurity firm called the New Knowledge Corporation. New Knowledge had to disband shortly after publishing that because they were exposed for conducting an interference campaign themselves in the 2017 Senate election in Alabama. And how did they do that? They pretended to be a Russian influence campaign on social media. So they did exactly what they have accused the Russians of doing. They actually did and put it under the false guise of being a Russian interference campaign.
They always do.
Charlemagne, you kind of blew it with that interview, man.
I don't think Jill did as well as she thinks she did. She could have been a lot stronger in a lot of her responses, I thought. But you're so wound up when you're running for that level of office. You got to really watch. Well, in those type of interviews, she's in there.
Yeah, gotcha interviews.
She's on the defense. Yeah, so
gotcha.
I get it. Oh, this gnat is driving me crazy. He's just in my face. It's that time of year, Oh, I got him.
Oh, yuck.
You.
Yuck, gnat murderer. Quit it.
Hey, at least I didn't eat it.
Oh, well, okay. No.
It just sucked it up my nose.
Oh, my God. There was a day. Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan experience. What did you, what's this all about? I didn't.
Okay, so Joe Rogan brought up Whitney Webb, our favorite Whitney Webb. I think this was in a podcast last week. And check out what he says about Whitney.
I would not want to be a fucking reporter right now.
No, but there's good journalism going on.
Oh, yeah. Most of it's independent.
That Whitney Webb character.
She's a character.
She's cool.
Yeah, that lady knows a lot.
I don't know how she knows it all, but God, I'd be afraid if I were her.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to disappear her.
I think she lives in another country. Doesn't she?
I think so.
Yeah, I watched her on a bunch of shows. I watched her on Patrick Bet David. I watched her on...
So why didn't you bring her on your show?
She was on Jimmy Dore's show a few times. She knows a lot.
I think Tim's got a direct
She knows a lot.
That's a wild thing to
Joe.
be focusing on. The evil oligarchs and people in power of the world and how they twisted everything throughout history. You make yourself a real target.
The bloodlines.
Oh, yeah, all that shit.
Yeah.
The bloodline stuff is wild.
It is.
That's really wild.
Okay, so Whitney had a response to that because, of course, our little swatch of indie media came after Joe Rogan and said, what the hell? Why don't you have Whitney on if you think that she knows that much? Because you know why? At the end of the day, Joe Rogan is fucking paid by these bloodlines and elites that, Whitney knows about. And he don't want to fuck up his $300 billion, $1 million freaking contract with Rumble or with Spotify, right?
Uh-huh.
So Whitney says, Rogan has mentioned my reporting many times. I literally wrote a 1,000-page book on what Epstein was actually doing in the network behind him. But somehow he can platform CIA contractors like Thiel and ask them about Epstein, but not me. Fancy that.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe.
Fancy
Hold
that.
your head down, Joe. She got you. She got you.
I love when Whitney Burns. She even got Jimmy the last time she was.
On the show.
Money, yeah.
Yeah. She did get him, but you know what?
Go.
She did a great job. Desert Mantis says, "Gross, Chanda." You just squash that gnat, and then Popeye said, "Nat shit crazy." So there you go.
Nat shit crazy. I'm just nat shit crazy tonight.
Nat shit crazy. And speaking of
agreed, Pat. That's so right on.
Taking a poo on while you're on somebody's show isn't necessarily the best thing in the world. And Robert Epstein was on Jimmy's show Monday, and I just grabbed the screen capture. Jimmy, when he insulted Jimmy on a show, and Jimmy told him he was accusing him of doing the same thing that his family did to him about exposing all the bullshit that's going, Kamala Harris, because they're blue MAGA. But look at Jimmy's face right there. That was in real time. I stopped it. I know. I stopped it, and then I ran it back to the best shot of him getting pissed. And, Jimmy's Jimmy. And I want to thank Jimmy again while I'm talking about him for donating to you. I appreciate it. We appreciate it, Jimmy, and everybody.
Sharing out my GoFundMe.
And sharing out the GoFundMe. Thank you, Jimmy. But this guy went on a show and insulted the show host after he was nice enough to bring him on to such a big show. Very wide-reaching show. And Jimmy
had an excellent fucking point. This guy comes on and he basically is telling us that Google is putting the thumb on the scale for Kamala Harris when you go in and do a Google search about this year's election. And the guy then attacks Jimmy and says, well, you just did a 7-minute freaking pro-Trump endorsement on this show that you bring me on. And Jimmy's like, whoa, wait a minute. You don't want to know why fucking Google is putting their thumb on the scale for Harris? You just say it's happening, but you don't understand why. He's like, I'm not a pro-Trumper. I'm telling you why Google is supporting the Democrats for this. And that guy could not wrap his freaking mind around it. It was the worst case a shitlib identity crisis I have ever seen.
And he's not a shitlib. He's investigating them. So the guy had a couple of oars broken in the water. What was just a side note on that? Jimmy was gone for like 22 minutes getting ready for the next interview, and Steph was sitting there reading super chats very slowly while he's doing that. But I picture Jimmy going into the break room or his kitchen and punching holes in the wall. That motherfucker comes on my show and insults me in front of all. Oh my God.
Jimmy did a great job. And you can see Kurt was pissed too, because Kurt just jumped right in there too.
Kurt was, fuck that. But still, you can push back on the person who invites you on the show, but don't be a dick. I mean, are you kidding me? So anyway.
Even if I don't agree with them normally, I'll take the high road and not call somebody out on their own damn show. There's been plenty of times that I've been on shows where I didn't agree with something.
Yeah, Whitney Webb did it beautifully. She are you taking Peter Thiel money, Jenny? Yeah, just polite. Yeah. She got him. So anyway, that was entertaining as hell. I think I was on the back channel with you laughing my ass off. Say, hey, you got to get in here and watch this, man. This is hilarious. So that was really good entertainment. We've got a Sabby Says here, and Sabby kind of hits it right here, and I enjoy Sabby. She's classy. She's articulate. Don't always agree with Sabby, but most of the time I kind of do, guys. She's got her shit together and does her research. But this is really profound, and I appreciated her saying this.
Given the fact that Biden and Harris came in the midst of this terrible pandemic, when, as you recall, unemployment was soaring, small businesses
fuck off.
You're making me nauseous.
Out of business, workers were not going to work. We had a major public health crisis. I think that Biden and Harris did an excellent job, by the way, in getting our economy back on track in a way that economists did not even think possible. So I think they did a good job. But her point is well taken in the sense that the economy today is an economy where working class people are struggling. That is absolutely true. And what we've got to do is not just demonize undocumented people, which is Trump's mantra, but have the guts to talk about the greed of the people on top. People who fight workers when they try to organize unions. People prepared to shut down factories in
people
this
that
country
made you bend the
and move
knee,
them to
Bernie.
Mexico or China.
Ripped
People
your
who want
spine
massive
out.
tax rates,
Yeah,
want
he's
to
a
cut
fucking
Social Security and Medicare. Do we have a political system today
Such a coward.
where members of Congress...
I had to let this run.
Shit he said 20 years ago.
I had to let him run for this
understand
to be in
that
context.
it's not
Here
Trump
comes
who's gonna
Sabby
deliver
right
for
now.
her or Kamala Harris.
I'm sorry, I have to say something for just a second. Just because you say that we have this corruption at the top, that doesn't help people economically right now. Like Bernie, you've been saying that for years.
Yes, he has.
Saying it and fixing the problem are two different things, right? I'm gonna tell you guys, I was at the store earlier today and I'm like, I get to the register and I'm like, seriously? Like when I hear the price, I'm like, what? Like, are we serious? I have 3 things. I have 3 items. Why am I paying $40?
Yeah.
So this whole idea of just talk about the greed at the top. No, you can't just talk about the greed. If you
That's what
don't
he's
have
been
a
doing.
plan to make it so that the corporate money has to be removed from electoral politics, otherwise this is never going to change. Because the politicians, most of the time, don't pass legislation unless it has some type of corporate interest attached to it. So everybody...
100%. She nailed that dead on.
Nailed
the fact that she's calling him out for just talking about it and not doing anything about it.
Yeah, that's what he's done his whole
we
career.
Were excited when he talked about it in 2015 and 2016.
Yeah. Oh,
We
wow.
still went along for the ride as we went into 2020, but he has just been spineless and feckless and useless.
And
this
useless.
entire
The
time,
guy needs to fucking retire. He's their little sheepdoggy there. That's what that guy is.
So
Now,
tell the progressives to vote for us, Bernie.
yeah, this one hurt.
It did?
Kim Iverson. You know how once in a while we get sloppy in text. I hate texting stuff, but tweets, same thing. If you get a little sloppy with your tweet, you can open yourself up to a lot of problems. And Kim did this week because she took a big dump on Rescue the Republic inadvertently. She said she couldn't, don't quote me. She said something to the idea of being, well, I don't get this because they're talking about rescuing the Republic. And she said, these are Zionists on this panel. And, you know,
how dare you notice that, Kim?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're not all Zionists. Jimmy Dore, I don't believe is a Zionist. Matt Taibbi, I don't believe is a Zionist. The doctors, I don't believe they're Zionists either. But long story short, she got her ass kicked for that tweet. Really bad. I mean, they came after her. She got personal.
You don't come for the mammies. Everybody loves the mammies because they've been free-thinking media for years.
Yeah,
I've been warning you guys about the mammies for months now.
Long story short, I agree with Kim, you know, on this one. You know, this Rescue the Republic and watch it, support it, do whatever you want to do. But if somebody has an opinion about something that you don't fucking like, they're going to come after you. And this is Chanda and I, we've always said we're guppies in the Shark Tank, right, Chanda? And we very seldom have people come after us. But if we had more people watching our show, I guarantee you they would come after us because we don't really
come for us.
Well, they do, but not like a high profile like Kim. But what Kim says here, I agree with. And think about it. If you're going to be fucking independent, be independent. Don't get into a club or don't headline with people that you may disagree with on something. You know, I mean, well, let me just play it because she's right. Bottom line, she's right.
I've now I've learned the lesson. Don't get cozy with politicians. Also, don't get yourself into a clique when it comes to independent media. You know, that's what I've also learned. Don't get into a clique because eventually the clique will turn on you because you're going to take a stance that they're not going to like. It's going to be against it. And if you go into this realm thinking of treating it like activism rather than like objectivism, which is what it should be, you're going to end up pissing off people when they're thinking we're supposed to unify right now, which is a lot of the pushback I got about this Rescue the Republic event. My criticism of it was you're being divisive. We need to unify. How dare you smear your friends? You know, these are the kind of the personal, the appeals to my emotion that were used to get me to back off on my criticism, which I was unwilling to do because I'm just telling you like it is with this event. And I've learned now, you know, this has been a reflective time after these last few days of getting this barrage of phone call after phone call. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I was on the phone for hours these last few days and sending messages back and forth these last few days. And I mean, it's just been another, I think, eye-opener. You know, I had to have this eye-opener after Tulsi and then really after RFK of just realizing that I really cannot get excited about a politician ever again.
Yeah.
This was kind of one of those eye-openers with independent media where I realized I can't get into any clique. I can't be a part of any group or any clique. Count me out. Just count me out. I need to remain objective so that I can continue telling it like it is to you guys. I don't want to get into a clique. I don't want to, and that's how it's got to be. We have to be independent. Literally absorb that moniker of independent media and mean it. And that's what I'm now trying to do, is I'm trying to mean it. So anyway, let me know your thoughts about all of this, guys. Email me, kim@kimiverson.com. Or you can also leave your comments down below. You can also tweet at me. Love to hear from you guys. Any of your thoughts on this. So again, kim@kimiverson.com.
She got kicked.
So-
You can tell
but-
she's hurting.
She's hurting, but okay, so we have been through this though, Oz. We did this. We got into a few cliques, but we did it over issues, right? Instead of politicians, like our support for universal health care. When we started pulling that back because we weren't agreeing with the policies that were starting to be pushed forward or the means to do it, right? When it's pie in the sky and you're wasting your time, you go find a different avenue, but these people didn't want to find a different avenue, and then they demonized us from walking away. And the climate movement, really, we walked away from that too, because you and I
Sunrise
both
movement. Yeah, that was
the Sunrise movement, and all, and they attacked us. We got attacked by a couple of different groups because we went, whoa. You guys need to be questioning this shit. You know, some of these bills that they were trying to support the Democrats with, like, that's not what we've been fighting for. You know, where's the universal option? Where's, you know, the public option? And they just, you know, instead of questioning it, they just attacked us because, hey, you guys aren't towing the line and doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Fuck that. And that's,
and we know better. If somebody shows us their true colors, we just cut the fucking ties and we're done. We don't come out here and talk shit about them or talk smack. I learned very early on in this movement and political activism that if you see somebody's true colors, eventually somebody else is going to see it too. Let them figure it out. Let them get burned for themselves. There's no need to go trash talking people.
No, there's
punch
not.
up.
Yeah, we do our best. And, you know, we're talking about people, you know, in our lane. You know, I'm not talking about taking a dump on Kyle Kalinske for being stupid because
that's not in our lane.
That was funny. That was funny. But, you know,
we're talking on the ground activists. Yeah.
Kim looked like Jimmy says he felt like when all of his friends took a dump on him for his position on the jab. You know, I know that, you know, because
I was disappointed that Jimmy had the position he had on the jab until probably a year in, right? We were like, oh, we lost Jimmy. He's about the vaccine, you know. It was sad watching him go down the you know, Graham Elwood.
Well, and the thing of it is I know Kim got kicked on this, and I'm spending a little more time on it just because I wanted to point out she's had these people on her show, and I can imagine all of them called her. And am I saying I'm not for unity? That I'm not for networks or anything?
Being able to work together, right?
I am for that.
I'm for that. Backgrounds.
I'm for that, but I'm not going to walk in lockstep. And I'm not going to chime just to become a member of the club. And I hope that all of our friends in independent media can appreciate what we just said and what Kim said. You cannot do that. I don't think Kim took a big dump on this Rescue the Republic. She just said she was, you know, like I said, give it up. So anyway, but that's why I brought that. And, you know, like everybody out there, we're not going to agree with everybody all the time. And we're going to offer our opinion. We hope you do too. But, you know, this lane, stay independent, everybody. That's what I took away from that. Stay the hell independent. Be independent. Somebody got a problem? You can talk about it in the back channels. Don't take a crap on your screen or your show. That's what I'm saying. Shanda.
Oh, it always comes back to haunt you.
We're going to go talk about all the horrible shit happening around the world right now. And this is the fire. Look at the fires. Look at the fires down in California.
California fires are so insane right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Fires, earthquakes, that Ghostbusters, Wrath of God kind of stuff. It's going on right now. We got plane crashes. We got parts falling off of planes. We got people that don't have health care, losing their homes, all this stuff. It's crazy. And there's another shot. This is the one down, I think this is outside the airport fire. Look at that. Isn't that insane?
There's so many fires going on in California. It's hard to track. I mean, I saw an incredible picture it was overlooking LA to the mountains, and the mountains are just all on fire, or the foothills. It would be foothills, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. We got volcanoes that are doming up in some of the strangest places. Tanzania has a volcano that they're worried about. I mean, it's
Ring of Fire is awake, man.
And the earthquakes. I mean, Malibu had the big earthquake this week. What is 4.7? But they had that
crap for California.
I know, but they had that 5.3 up in Bakersfield, and then they had another one over in.
Well, if you look all the way down the western seaboard, the whole entire fault system is rumbling right now. I mean, even under us, we're doing 2s and shit, but it's so deep we're just not filling them. The Ring of Fire is waking up for some reason, and something big could happen.
No, it's crazy, and you and I are under the Cascadia Fault. So if we don't see you next week.
Oh my God!
Maybe
I'm 50 miles from the San Juan, which is loaded and ready to go.
Oh
man.
yeah,
they could go at any time.
Yeah, they say that if the Cascadia Fault goes, it'll wipe out everything west of the I-5 freeway. And so and if it's that
property in Nevada.
If it's that bad, it'll tear the infrastructure. It'll tear the heart out of the infrastructure of the whole state. Not to mention Oregon and California. So
I've told you guys this. I went and I sat through our emergency management response back and forth with our state Senate and House. It was mind-blowing, their reports that they were saying 90% of the population in Colum County is dead because we're all retirement up here. It was mind-blowing. We're super
hate to see you. Wouldn't want to be. I'm gonna press through this now. Military officials are investigating after a rear tail cone fell from a Boeing C-17 military aircraft and fell from the sky and landed in a school parking lot. So anyway, a school parking lot. The Boeing saga continues. And I made a little GIF there with parts. I'm going to keep that GIF handy. I think I'm going to need it.
I think you're going to need it. Yeah.
I had my subpoenaed cell phone smashed with a hammer and my subpoenaed laptop bleached. My husband flew 26 times to Epstein, Pedo Island, and still not one indictment. The true measure of education is not just knowledge, but the ability to think independently and critically thinking. And critical thinking, I read an article today, critical thinking for anybody that was born after 1980, they say that critical thinking skills are in bad shape, that they're losing the critical thinking skills.
Yeah. Well, they don't have critical. They can't think outside the box.
I didn't even think about that. So, it's just nuts. Now, 88 corporate leaders signed a letter Friday endorsing Kamala Harris for president, including CEOs of Costco, Ford, American Express, Merrick, PayPal, Autodesk, Lyft, Yahoo, DocuSign, Yelp, DuPont, Sony, Pepsi, Zillow, Twilio, and LinkedIn. Okay, but that's worse. And you do see that's worse, right? And that's
tell me you're corporate captured and owned without telling me you're corporate captured and owned.
God in heaven. We have a public service announcement here. Poverty exists not because we cannot feed the poor, but because we cannot satisfy the rich. I thought that was very profound, so I dropped that in there last minute.
I love that reface. That's a new reface too, and it's great.
Oh, you're looking good there, Shanda. You're looking good. You're looking good.
I went as Harley Quinn last year. I don't know what I'm going to dress up as this year. Well, I guess we'll just wait and see. I'll come up with something.
We are going to have a fundraiser on the 28th from 12 to 4 for Shanda. And we are looking we are looking for talent to come on and perform or talk about your
Pat,
channel.
What are you doing?
Yeah, talk about your channel and what you do for independent media as a tribute to what Chanda and I have been working on for years. So you can either perform, sing, dance, crack jokes, or talk about what you do in independent media. So you can contact me at forShandaMasta@outlook.com, and I will drop that link here in a second in the thing if you are interested. And we will get you on board. We're going to have it on the 28th. That's Saturday the 28th, 12 to 4. And then Chanda hopefully will be available to do Beauty and the Boomer that night. And then next month on the 26th, we're going to have another fundraiser on the 26th. And we're going to make that one a Halloween party, a dress-up party. So you guys can not only come, you can come to the fundraiser, but you can also come and join us in the green room on Beauty and the Boomer that night. So we hope you guys join us.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who's already signed up to come, play some music, sing a song, do whatever. Anybody's invited to come.
You know what? I'm going to tell you who's already confirmed, and they jumped at confirming. Jesse Jett was on top of it the second I sent out the request. Jesse Jett's going to be there, and Kevin Sandblum, Black Bear News. He's going to be there performing. He's in a group. He's a great singer.
Kevin's. Oh my gosh, I love Kevin. I haven't had a chance to talk to Kevin in many years. That'll be great. Pat the Batman Fest says, any requests, Chanda? Just anything from the 80s. Pat, you always rock it when you do 80s.
Pat,
covers.
we love Pat, we love everything. You've always contributed. I know you've been busier and shit, and you're probably trying. We need to talk. Let's talk. I'll call you. You can call me.
Yeah, we miss you. I'm always wondering what you're up to. That's for sure.
Anyway, back to the show here. We've got this one. I don't buy that chicken wings are $46.15, Chanda.
They are. I'm not making this up.
Here we go.
$46 for a pack of chicken wings, cuz. $46 for a pack of chicken wings. $46.15. $46.15.
I saw 3 steaks at Costco for $99 the other day. So don't tell me that this isn't possible, because it absolutely is.
That's crazy. That is crazy. How could that be?
But chicken? The economy is recovering. Yeah, the economy is recovering and people are doing better.
Are you kidding me, man? Chicken.
Especially if it's food deserts, right? Because we have so many food deserts throughout the United States now, because the way grocery stores have been these corporations have all been taken over by fucking Kroger's and here's and they price gouge. They admit to price gouging us.
I didn't vet this, but it looks kind of right. But McDonald's medium French fry in 2019 $1.79, and 2024 $4.19. Are you fucking kidding me? A McChicken. $1.29, and mid 2024 price $3.89. Not that you eat that shit. Taco Bell 5-layer burrito $1.69, and this must be sponsored by Taco Bell. $3.69 2024.
Oh bullshit! It's higher than that.
Yeah, well, yeah, and here's Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A nuggets $3.65 in 2019. $6.55 in 2024. Somebody, I think Harris in the debate, because Trump mentioned something about
talking about this.
Yeah, it's talking about prices. Some of the prices are up 100%. He wasn't lying. I know that prices are up 100%. I've been out there looking at it. So don't even go there. It's crazy.
You can skip the next one for time if you want.
Okay. Yeah. 28.
I know it's not your favorite person, so
we've got Fiorella Isabel, and she had Dr. Wolf on. So here we go. Fee says,
if you pick unemployment statistic, joblessness, well, we're doing okay. I mean, not great. We have 4.5 or 4% unemployment, and that means officially 6 to 10 million Americans are not working. And that ought to be a concern. But put that aside, historically, it's not so bad. We've had a lot worse. okay, it's a stretch, but it's plausible. But then you could say, well, wait a minute, what about the numbers about inequality, the gap between rich and poor? Well, that's off the chart in the United States. That's the worst it's been in many decades. It's almost worse than in the last century, how bad it is in this country. So if you wanted to look at the level of inequality in our society, unequal income, unequal wealth, well, that's terrible. So you could have a person looking at that saying this is an economy in deep trouble versus another one looking at unemployment saying, well, it's all right. It's not great, but it's all right. They wouldn't be wrong, but they'd be doing something illegitimate. You're supposed to look at it all. Otherwise, you're pushing some argument, you're selling something, but you're not doing what we would want as citizens, which is a balanced view, the way we would if we went to a doctor to look at our bodies and tell us how healthy we are.
You don't get a balanced view when you go to your doctor, I promise.
They've been cherry picking this shit, and Fee even says the MSM will cherry pick what parts of the economy to look at and highlight those depending upon their narrative spin. Every fucking time. You have to look at the entire economy as a whole, says the U.S. empire, Professor Wolf, in decline, but denial of it. Absolutely, Fee. And, you know, we've got to keep pounding this. That's what's happening.
Well, it's an election year. It's election year, so they're just flat lying to us.
Yeah, they always hype it up in election year. We've got bug rations in the future. There's
well, that's what's coming for us because we can't afford food. So you'll get your CBDCs and then you can go buy your bug rations.
Yeah, and that's just the way it is. I love that. Bug rations. Yum. Don't we get enough?
I'm going to keep that one. I'll probably move it over to the trailer.
They've already got the bugs in the Cheetos, don't they? We showed that last week. You brought David Icke.
Last week. Oh, my gosh, so bad, right?
David Icke. This is it.
David Icke. So this is how the electromagnetic cloud is being created by SpaceX and other low orbit satellites, as well as 5G towers with 6G and 7G to come. You guys know I've been warning you about 5G for many, many years. This cloud is a human hive mind being expanded every day to connect with the self-replicating nanotech delivered by fake vaccines and other means. And these are all things that we have covered in the last 4 years at Roar Media. Amber's talked about it. We've talked about it. And Whitney's talked about it. So many people are understanding this. Check this out, Oz. This is terrifying. You could probably speed it up and it'll still be effective.
This is like drones.
No, these are the satellites. Yeah, but they look like drones, right? These are Elon Musk's freaking SpaceX and Blackjack, because you got to remember the military has a contract with Elon to have a parallel military system, which is Starlink, but it's called Blackjack and it's for military capability. They don't talk about it much to the public, but when they do, they kind of just call it Starlink. But it's actually Blackjack. And yeah, look at that. Look at how we're entombed. We're in fucking tombed with nothing but surveillance. And, look at all the shit that's probably pouring off of all that tech. Like,
oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is a guy that supports it 100%. You brought this, right?
Oh, Bill Gates says the world is facing two options, a major war or another pandemic in less than 30 years. My question is, who gets to pick? Does he get to pick?
You know what? I think he's perfectly happy with everything the way it's going. We made it to Meme Alley, Chanda. We got a few memes in here. Stick around for the outro. It's beautiful tonight. We've got some Dire Straits and Mike and the Mechanics, and that's done by the Hindley Street Country Club from Australia.
I love Mike and the Mechanics.
And Hindley Street Country Club was voted the best cover band in the world recently. So I think you'll enjoy
They are. They're absolutely
awesome.
Are one of the best.
They're awesome. By the way, I pinned that email for Chanda Nasta at outlook.com. If you want to come on and talk about your show, or you want to perform or do something on the 28th of September, 12 to 4 p.m., we would certainly love to hear from you. You brought this meme. What is this?
They ate her dogs. They ate her dogs.
Oh,
we got to talk
Jesus
about this
Christ.
for a second.
Oh,
okay,
my
so
God.
Trump brought it up during the debates the other night about the supposed Haitians that are eating people's pets, cats and dogs. Now, I brought the video of the woman, right, that ate the cat. But she wasn't a Haitian immigrant. She was an American-born citizen born in Canton, Ohio. So, but I have seen some video and I've seen a lot of testimony from citizens that are living in Springfield that are saying, yeah, they're eating our fucking pets. One guy was like, we used to have a huge stray cat population. He's like, you can't find a cat on the street anywhere now. Like, so, I mean, what do you expect, though? These people have lived the roughest of fucking lives in Haiti, eating dirt fucking cookies, literally dirt cookies, while the U.S. has stuffed their fucking pockets, and pigs like the fucking Clinton Foundation went in there, just violated them, took all that fucking money. Remember all the celebrities? They were holding charity telethons and shit. Julia Roberts, oh, we're raising money for Haiti. None of that money went to Haiti. And it's something that's close to my heart because my son did mission work in Haiti. So I've really followed Haiti for a long, long freaking time.
Yeah, you're well aware of everything. The Clinton Foundation was the behind most of it.
The Clinton Foundation, not only that they were trafficking kids out of there, they were caught. Actual workers for the Clinton Foundation went to jail for it. They threw her under the damn bus.
Yeah.
We've been reporting on this stuff for years, but I don't know what to believe. There is a lot of people saying that it is real, that it's happening. But what do you expect when you have a population that has starved and had no means for so many years, and then we bring them here, and then we don't really give them a lot of means. They don't know the language. They're trying to navigate the systems to get help. And so they ate a couple dogs and cats. It's terrible. But you know what? We feed our fucking prisoners in this country the same exact shit. Roadkill. If a deer gets hit in Washington, they drag that shit down to the fucking jail and they skin it, and that's what they feed the fucking inmates. I mean, anything to save a buck. And I just don't. This whole story is. It's propagandized, yes, but is there some truth to it? Probably.
Well, watching those two individuals debate that kind of thing, and Harris brought up some.
I know, it was so stupid, right?
Yeah, it was.
I've got an awesome clip of Tucker Carlson talking about it. You'll have to.
Oh yeah, it was funny. I saw that. Yeah,
that was funny. I've got it for Trailer Park Pundit.
Flamingos and skeletons were meant to be together. That's from a friend of mine. She's into those pink flamingos, and I thought that was terrific. I'd like to have those in my yard. That's great. Second day of eating healthy, still look the same. Absolutely appalled. That's
that's the way I feel lately. Like I haven't had carbs in almost a month. I don't look like a freaking supermodel now.
Here's one. People have been eating bread for more than 10,000 years, and now it's less than a decade. It seems like everybody's suddenly allergic to gluten. No shit. No shit.
Well, it's not the gluten they're allergic to. I have to point this out. It's the fucking glyphosate.
Yeah.
And the fact that we put bromate in everything and took out the essential shit that helps our bodies break down gluten. There's lots of reasons for it. But
finding good flour is difficult. Finding good flour, you've got to really look around for decent flour. When I was a kid, it was gold medal, and Mom would pop those loaves of bread or biscuits in the oven. They'd rise right up. They'd be great. But now it's terrible. I've decided with this peaceful spirit and a loving heart and a clear mind that some people can still kiss my ass. And I happen to agree 100%. 100%. Now, Chanda, you gotta. Isn't this what you see when you look at these debates?
It is. This is a close depiction for sure.
Yeah, it's right on. There's another new reface of you there. You're jumping around in your little leather outfit, though. I like the hair on that one. Why do professional athletes think that I should care about what they think? If I wanted advice from someone who chases a ball, I'd ask my dog. And Scooby agrees. Stupid microwave, I pressed pizza and it still came out potato. These are pretty good, Shanda. I like these.
Cute.
We have Stoner Corner here. Shanda brought Stoner Corner, and you got what the fuck pinched my bag, Mickey. And what is this?
Who the fuck pinched my bag? This is a great little clip here of a guy who just got released from prison. Check it out. It's kind of loud when you first come in, but it'll get quieter, I promise.
I just got out of 33 years marijuana. And the first sign I saw when I come down the road, relax, we deliver your marijuana to you.
Yeah, 33 years.
33 fucking years, and the first sign he sees when he gets out of prison is, "We'll deliver your marijuana." They stole that man's life.
Yeah, that's the war on drugs for you, baby.
Yep.
We have Remember When. I think you guys can remember. I think you're going to relate to a lot of these this week. I don't have a Kukla, Fran, and Ollie, but Romper Stompers, I actually tried those. And who
had those? I had Romper Stompers.
You did? Oh my God.
did.
They were way before your time.
I know, but I had young parents, so they were still into the toys from the 60s, you know?
Yeah, and I showed you guys I had Duncan yo-yos. And I had them last week. Duncan yo. I was pretty good at yo-yos. This week in 1966, one of the longest running shows in the annal of history, Star Trek, premiered. That was September 8th, 1966. And who's the guy holding the headpiece there? Not the guy, but what
Goofy?
Was the show?
Is that the original Goofy? Oh, no, what was that? That was Banana Splits.
Yeah, you got it. Banana Splits.
I love the Banana Splits. I love their little go-kart, man. I wanted that little doom buggy thing they had.
Yeah. Rolling down the highway, the Banana Split show. Yeah,
it would always come on after like all the cartoon shows were on Saturday. It was like, okay, that was the real, you know.
I loved My Favorite Martian. Back Ray Walston and Bill Bixby.
That was a little before my time, even though I watched it.
I love that show. You know, they can both rest in peace. They were both great actors, and Bill Bixby did the Hulk and several other shows. Eddie, Courtship of Eddie's Father. He had a great career, and then he ended up getting cancer, prostate cancer, and took him out. So
yeah, that's another one that'll take you down fast.
Yeah,
There's a couple of them.
Yeah. Forbidden Planet. I remember that. That was Walter Pidgeon and Anne Francis and Leslie Nielsen when he was just a whippersnapper.
Oh, that show freaked me out as a kid because I was a little kid, like 5, 6, and that would come on, and I was just terrified of those damn dinosaurs. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I saw the dinosaur, the Barney. My daughter was a Barney fan, and oh man, I was glad. I was glad she was over that, man. I was so tired of Barney. Me arriving at work waiting to be a better person, me an hour later. Yeah, that's me right there. That's me. That's me. Now, I used to be a shoe fitter for a year or so, and I was a damn good one.
You were Al Bundy?
I was a Red Wing shoe fitter for Red Wing shoes. I used to, and we were very good shoes, we were unique because we actually children that have club feet and people who had their toes amputated, they would come to us and we would have specialty work done on their shoes. But I don't know if you know this, but that little measuring device there is called a Brannock, and the one next to it is a Ritz stick. Now, the difference between those, Brannocks have them for females too, but they started out with just the male version, so you could only measure men's feet. And I had to use the Brannock for the guys and the Ritz stick for the girls. But they would measure the length, the width, everything else.
I remember both for sure, but I didn't know that they were started for men only in the beginning.
I think in the beginning that's what they did. I could be wrong.
Patriarchy always keeping us women down.
Yeah. And I could be wrong, but that's all I had was for men back in those days. And we had Ritz stick for women. When you are over 50 and you think you still got it, I'm 65 and I know I don't have it. Women grow radical with age. One day an army of gray-haired women may quietly take over the earth, and I'm rooting for that day, as long as they're not
I've been telling people that all the time. Hey, Oz, before we move on, do you know that we have a super Ray hanging out over on the Rockfin?
No, I do not. Would you like to?
Yes, we
shout out?
absolutely do. It is Anna Maris. Thank you so much, Anna Maris. If he says pretty things, I will never trust Bernie ever again. Even if he says pretty things. Yeah, no, we quit buying into Bernie's rhetoric a long time ago.
No, he's
Anna. But Anna, I just
ahead.
want to say thank you so much for all of your messages and support. So many of you are just sending me little pick-me-ups through the day, little poems, little memes. Just, I can't thank you guys enough. And Anna's one of those. Is always there making sure to check up on me.
No, I personally thank you for helping out my wonderful partner. I was talking to Chanda yesterday. I said, you know that we've never had a fight, disagreement, or anything, and the whole time we've been together. I've been with friends and people, for less time and gotten into hanging fights with them, and so I've been
we share a brain.
I've been so fortunate with you, Chanda. I can't tell you
Me
enough
too.
how much I appreciate.
I feel the same exact way.
And I love you to death. We are closer
love you to
than most couples are, and we're the best of friends. So
Absolutely.
Really,
and I can't wait. I'm going to come see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm
coming
looking
down for the week.
We might have to fire up and do a update from here if you're going to be here that night.
Heck yeah. Let's do it. We'll do
that'd
it
be
in
great.
person, and we've never actually done it side by side before.
I don't think we have.
Remote.
No, we haven't.
No,
We've been
never
remote.
once have we ever gone live.
Yeah,
together.
I'll have to fix it up in here so we can have two.
Yeah,
chairs.
we have to definitely make that a thing.
Yeah. Well, we're about out of the show. Stick around. I think you guys might just like this outro. It's beautiful. But right now, this week's Shitlib Book Club, da-dum, pointing out the bullshit, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump at the debates. There you go. And you come from a long line of shitheads. Who else but the Cheneys are featured on that one?
Cheneys.
Those are your Shitlib Book Club recommendations.
It says, this is bullshit too. It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit. And it sure as hell was, because those two, oh my God, it was rough. Hollywood, go fuck yourself. And I can't tell you enough, but they are trying to move to Nevada, to Vegas. So that was news to me. I just heard that today on Clownfish, as a matter of fact. Got to give Clownfish a shout out. They do some good work over there.
I do like Clownfish.
Eon and Geeky Sparkles. So we've got this one, a woman who made her career singing about bad choices and torches. Well done, Babylon Bee. And then there's Mark Hamill Fantasy, Mark Hamill Reality. He is part of the Empire.
Well, Oz, can I tell you, people are not happy about this Taylor Swift endorsement of Kamala Harris. So, she has what do they call them? The Swifties or what? I don't know, her fan base. And they're one of the most rabid fan bases on the internet. And they're out there burning her albums and shit. Like, they are not happy with.
And she's not going to give a shit, but you know what? I'm glad you guys are pushing back on these celebs, these Hollywood people, singers and stuff, because it's both sides. They bring out I think Trump brought out a big time rapper today that was endorsed him. But,
I'll have to check that out.
It's not about the policy anymore. It's that virtue signaling, identity politics crap. And I guarantee you, not one of these Hollywood people or, musicians, entertainers get into it as much as you guys do in the chat and as we do. Maybe a couple of them. Mark Ruffalo, some days the guy's right on, some days the guy just takes a dump on himself.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon for the most time is
she's pretty right on.
She might have effed up during COVID, if I remember right.
She could have. I think we all make mistakes.
Well, fear did a lot to us, right?
Oh yeah, it broke our brains. Comrade Misty Putin, I have to feature she's been saying this, and we are fucked. And if World War III happens tomorrow, it's been nice knowing you guys. It has been nice knowing you guys.
It's true, but I love that. I've done my research. We're fucked.
Yeah, we are fucked, and she, it's pretty right on. We had a big high-profile icon actor pass away this week, and it was Darth Vader, James Earl Jones. So rest in peace.
It's Mufasa.
Mufasa. Yeah, Mufasa. And Trading Places, Field of Dreams. That's Conan the Barbarian, Thulsa Doom up there in the corner. The guy's had a hell of a
I remember
career.
that he played a badass in that.
He
one.
was.
Yes,
that was. I think that was
in
one of.
Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
And then is that Coming to America? Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
In Coming to America.
He was a consummate actor. You know, no matter where you're at on politics, and as much as we jam some of these Hollywood individuals, credit where credit is due. Had a long life. Rest in peace.
I can hear his voice right now.
Yeah,
too.
one
He
of
has
the
such a distinct voice.
one of the best voices in Hollywood, and I would say Keith David is another one. He's another black actor who's got a fantastic voice.
Yeah.
He's been in so much Goliath on Gargoyles, and so many live action real parts. Keith David, excellent actor. You put this in the deck.
I love this. So John Shifton's birthday was this week, and there was quite a bit of celebrating going on, as well as there should have been. And this picture got dropped. There's a couple of more pictures out there too. So wonderful to see John and Julian together and holding each other, and it just made my heart sing to wake up and see this on Monday morning. Like, it was just this is everything that we fought for, everything that you fought for. Every time you threw that hashtag free Julian Assange, every time you shared an article, every time you attacked somebody and defended Julian, you made that moment possible, and it makes me so happy.
If anybody's got any contact information for Julian Assange, just send it to me at forshandamasta@outlook.com, and I would appreciate that.
That'll ever happen. He hasn't even talked to anybody since he got out, as well as he shouldn't have to.
I get it. I get it. Oops. I need to stop that. It's not time to start that yet. I will start it here in a moment. Chanda, last word for tonight. What are we doing this week?
I'm doing a Trailer Park Pundit Monday morning. You can join me. And then I probably will not do a health update this week. Maybe next week I'll have some test results back, and we'll get a better idea of how quickly I'm going to be heading into chemo, which is going to be pretty fast. But I got to get in line, and they're trying to jump me to the front of the line. And there's been people that have been waiting literally a year to get into chemo, and now I've got to jump the line. So I'm working my way through the system, trying to get put in fast. You know what I'm saying? The referrals and getting booked into all these different doctors. So
yeah, no, I'm if they say you need to get in there, let's get you in there fast. So
believe me, I don't let them push me around. Like the MRI lady was like, "Oh, okay, how about middle of October?" I was like, "Lady, I have a very aggressive cancer. You got to get me in now." Like, she was like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know." Like, yeah, I don't have a month to waste waiting on you guys to get me a fucking appointment.
Yeah, no, and people, when they do realize that, I know it's difficult for, when they hear that from patients.
Right. Yeah, I know. I've sent some people back. Like today when I picked up Fusion from the ICU, his doctor was in there, talking to us, and it got mentioned. I think Al mentioned that, my diagnosis, and you could see the shock on his young doctor's face. Like, he knew what that meant when Al said small cell lung cancer, So I encounter that a lot.
Yeah, you're going to. Well, you're the toughest person I know, Chanda, and you're handling it, and we're here to lift you up. And when we need you, you're going to do a show on Monday, right?
I've already got it half wrote, and the card's done. Music's picked, so we're going live at 9:45 a.m. on Monday morning, just like always. Hello.
And you are planning on doing an update Thursday?
No,
right?
No update Thursday.
No update this week, but we are planning on doing a Beauty and the Boomer next week. Is that correct?
It's Hunter's birthday. So I'm going to try to do Hunter's birthday during the day, go see her, drop off her presents. Hopefully they'll be doing cake.
Well, if that's too much for you, we can take Monday. We can take next week off. I know that the chat won't mind if you've got that on your plate.
I'll let you know, but I think I'm okay right now. While I still have my energy level up, I'm trying to get as many shows in, get as much done around the house, all the things I got to take care of, because I know I'm going to end up slowing down as I start getting into treatment. So I don't want to, and I'm going to drive hard not to. And I think it's going to help me to have shows to look forward to, because me, I get up in the morning, I sit down in my chair, I read the internet, and then I just start building shows. So I'm going to have shows built all the time. It's just the hard part's going to be getting on actual air for me.
Well, whatever you want to do, we're with you. I know the entire chat and everybody watching this is going to support whatever you want to do.
You guys, your love has just carried me, and I can't thank you guys enough. I'm so grateful and thankful and fortunate.
Yeah, well, we're fortunate to be your friend and honored to be that friend. We're going to go out tonight with your favorite. You love Dire Straits and Mike and the Mechanics, right?
I do. You got both of them.
Yeah, so this is a great outro. I hope you all enjoy it, and Chanda, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did making it. So we're going to go out with some Money for Nothing, and Mike and the Mechanics is coming right in behind that. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. Like I said, the link, the address, the email address is up at the top. If you want to bring something pre-recorded or anything, just
come hang out with us.
Come hang out. We will talk to you Monday and then hopefully next Saturday. But if not, we'll see you the following Saturday. Have a great evening, everybody. Good night. Pat.
Night.
Let's talk. Pat. Bye.
Bye. Oh, this reminds me of being a kid.
That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on your MTV. Ah, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Let me tell you, them guys ain't dumb. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your thumb. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen delivery. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. The little buddy with the earring and the makeup. Yeah, man, that's his own hair. Yeah, little buddy's got his own jet airplane. Yeah, man, he's a millionaire. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen delivery. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen delivery. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. I should learn to play the guitar. I should have learned to play them drums. Look at that, mama. She got it sticking in the camera, man. We can have some. And he's up there, what's that? Hawaiian noises. Banging on the bongos like a chimpanzee. Oh, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen delivery. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. guitar on the MTV. Yeah, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing when you chicks for free. Money for nothing. Chicks for free. Money for nothing. Chicks for free. Money for nothing. Chicks for free. Every generation blames the one before, and all of their frustration come beating on your door. Know that I'm a prisoner to all my father held so dear. I know that I'm a hostage to all his hopes and fears. I just wish I could have told him in the living years. Oh, crumpled bits of paper filled with imperfect thought, still to conversation. I'm afraid that's all we got. You say you just don't see it. It says it's perfect sense. You just can't get agreement. In this present tense, we all talk a different language, talking in defense. Say it loud. Oh, say it clear. As well as you hear. It's too late. It's too late. When we die. Oh, when we die. We don't see eye to eye. So we open up a quarrel between the present and the past. We only sacrifice the future. It's the bitterness at last. So don't yield to the fortunes you sometimes see as fate. You may have a new perspective on a different day. And if you don't give up and don't give in, you may just be okay. So say it, say it, say it loud. Say it clear. Come on, say it clear. As well as you hear. It's too when my father passed away. Didn't get to tell him all the things I had to say. Think I caught his spirits later that same year. I'm sure I heard his echo in my baby's newborn tears. I just wish I could have told him